questo assumo invece la funzione di Pippo Baudo, cioè di coordinatore, e do subito la parola al prossimo oratore. Il prossimo oratore è il professor Peter Schalk, che è il direttore di ET Bioinformatics, che è uno dei più importanti data provider di T2 Nature. Hanno costruito centinaia di chiavi a quasi tutto, diciamo, dai coralli agli insetti, agli uccelli d'Europa, alle piante, ai funghi, che ci parlerà di alcuni aspetti particolarmente interessanti, di cui uno mi ha colpito, me l'ha raccontato ieri sera, e cioè l'identificazione degli uccelli che hanno provocato, vi sapete, quell'aereo che è andato giù sul fiume Hudson, è riuscito a planare, si aveva trovato uno stormo di uccelli migratori. È interessante perché è importante sapere che specie sono per prevenire questi incidenti. Bene, ciò è stato ottenuto anche grazie a delle chiavi di T2 Nature, e adesso vedremo come e perché. Peter parlerà in inglese, ma suppongo che tutti capiscano l'inglese più o meno, quindi io non sto a fare traduzioni, no?
Oh, thank you. You caught up with the time. A good speaker, very fast. Well, which didn't help for my Italian. Well, first of all, I would like to say it's a privilege and an honor to be here to speak to you. What I used to call the secret society of the square apple. Because I've always wondered what the square apple is doing on this picture. Well, thank you. Well, my name is Peter Schalk. I'm director of ETI Bioinformatics. We are based in Amsterdam. And when Nicola Dorigo called me if I could give a talk here, and he said, well, you have to focus on identification that is in particular used for society. Well, we have made many keys, so I thought a long time what I will do, and you will see during the talk where I end up with. First of all, and I think Professor Nimmers covered this, I think it's important just to go back to the name. What's in a name? Identification of organisms is deeply ingrained in our society. And examples are, for instance, biodiversity inventories. You need to identify species and come up with names before you have a species checklist for an area. You can think of biomonitoring, determining agricultural pests. That's why we got the square apple maybe. Invasive species, water quality assessments, forensic studies, medical diagnosis, nature conservation, import-export laws. All of this depends on exact identification. But of course, proper identification gives it a name. And the name only is not enough, but the name is actually the instrument to unlock all kind of information that's linked to it. And from there you can go to descriptions in taxonomy, you can go to ecological role, you find illustrations, you can go to the genetic code, you can find the taxonomic rank, or you can even determine economic value. Only when you have the right name. So identification is very important. Well, a few words about ETI, who we are and what we do. We are an NGO, a non-governmental organization in operational relation with UNESCO. What we do is we work with the scientific community to improve access to and use of biodiversity information. And that we do to support research, to support education, like in the T2 Nature network, but also to have applied use of the information that's generated in academia. And last but not least, and there's another UNESCO pillar in our organization, is public awareness. We want people to be aware of biodiversity. Well, what we do, we develop and implement software solutions for biological data management and to make information infrastructures to help you to get to the data. And then the idea is to support integration and interoperability and common access systems to distributed heterogeneous data sources. And tools for supporting species identification are very important in this mission. And we have built in the past 20 years many tools, but there are actually two lines that I would like to stress here. One is our Linnaeus 2 species data management software. It comes in 4 flavors or 4 different modules. One is the builder that allows you to create an information system, to build keys on your computer. And to manage your information in there. But of course the idea is when you build a key you want people to use it. So the runtime version, that's on the next line, is meant to actually publish these keys and these information systems on CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. Up to now we have 112 CDs and DVDs published. And this is one of the examples here. I brought a couple to give away to you. Since 2000, the scientists kept on pressing us. They wanted to publish also on the web, not only on CDs. CDs are very important in developing countries where internet access is still slow, but in the Western world, the web is a perfect way of communicating. So we also have a web publishing unit that actually publishes these data, the keys and the information systems on the web. And Key to Nature, the project where we participate in, gave us a mobile outlet for that. That same website you can now run on your mobile phone. You can actually identify species in the field and find the information. So that's one side, keys and species information. The other side is what we call the BioPortal Toolkit. Because already, like I said, when you have a name, you want to harvest all kinds of information that goes with the name. And that's why we built BioPortal Toolkits. This is basically a dynamic data harvesting website. It's built around a central species information system in which you can identify your species, and once you have the name, you have the description. But then it harvests information from a whole score of sources that you actually yourself point out on the site. It has been mentioned already, but the Catalog of Life from Species 2000, the phone book of species names, and the GBIF index of all the collection observation informations, these are central indexes in the Portal Toolkit. Well, this is a pictorial image of how these tools work together. On the left side you see the Linnaeus Tool Builder, the software system that you use to create your information systems. Below that you see the runtime version with the productions on CD. You see an arrow going to the web publisher, where you can create websites with species identification keys on it. And you see an arrow going to the Key to Nature mobile application, where you can use the same stuff on your mobile phones. And all the way on the right side you see the BioPortal that basically integrates this species information system and links it to the rest of the world. In the meantime, let me stir a bit on my computer to see if it wakes up. E-publications. Like I said, we have at the moment some 1,700 taxonomists working with Linnaeus. And they sometimes work for 10 years. You don't hear from them and then they call us up and say, well, I got a monograph ready on mosquitoes of a certain area. I just give you here, on the left side of the picture here, you see a diagram of how the software is set up. There is a central navigator that allows you actually to go to all the parts in the software. You can of course go directly to the taxonomic database that allows you to create hierarchies, put your names in, the synonyms, the common names, you put your descriptions in there. But the nice part of it is you can enrich that information with multimedia files. So you can also store photos, videos, sounds, anything that helps you describe a species. On the right side of that diagram, do I have a mouse on this thing? No. Yeah. Yeah. Here you see 3 little blocks. There are 3 different types of identification keys you can choose. You can either make a traditional dichotomous key. It has 4 legs or 2. It has blue eyes or brown. This is a dichotomous key, the easy way to go to a species. You can make a picture key that you work with illustrations, which we actually use in education or for applications in agriculture. Farmers know maybe not the name of organisms, but they know damn well what they look like, so they can actually click on the species and identify like that. And the last one, Professor Nimmers also said, is the most powerful one, is a matrix-based key, a multiple choice key, where you can start